Hi guys, I'm going to share with you this delicious apple pie. The apple pie filling is what makes it really tasty, and the dough is going to be crunchy but not too hard, so it's a perfect texture. For the dough, we will be using 1 cup of all-purpose flour, half teaspoon of salt. I'm going to start mixing with my hand, and I'm adding less than 1/3 cup of vegetable oil. After adding the oil, you want to mix the oil with the flour very well for about 1 to 2 minutes. This part is important. You want to mix the oil very well before adding any water. Otherwise, the texture of the dough will not come out right. Then we will slowly add water and about 4 tablespoons at a time. When all the flour come together, you can stop adding water. Then we will cover the dough with a napkin and leave it aside while we work on the filling. Now I'm just covering it with a napkin, and we're just going to leave this aside while we work on the filling. So for the filling, I am using 2 apples. So I'm going to first peel the skin, then chop them into small pieces. With the 1 cup of flour, I'm able to make 3 medium moon pies. So 2 apples is enough for the filling. For the ingredients for the filling, we need 2 apples cut in small pieces. I have 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. This is cinnamon stick. I kind of broke it in small pieces. 1 bay leaf that I cut in half, and some cardamom, so I have 3. And these are shredded coconut, 1 tablespoon of butter, 1/3 teaspoon of nutmeg, and 1 tablespoon of cinnamon powder. So in a pan, we will add the butter. Once the butter melts, we're going to add the cardamom, cinnamon stick, and the bay leaf, and just kind of roast it or toast it. And when you smell the aroma, you know that it's done. And then we'll just add in our apples at that time. Now I have these apples that I'm just going to add. And after you add the apples, you want to sprinkle some salt. So I am using like 1/4 teaspoon of the salt, not a lot. I'm adding the brown sugar. I will also add 4 tablespoons of water. The reason we're adding the water is we don't want to burn the apples. We need to cook them very soft. So if we don't add the water, it's going to burn. And then after adding the water, you just want to stir it around and cover it with a lid and wait a while for it to soften. Now I'm adding the coconut. So I want to add this before the apples are completely soft. So after adding the coconut, you're just going to mix it again and cover it with a lid once again, just so that they cook some more. The apples are almost done. Now I'm going to add my nutmeg and the cinnamon powder. I like to add them towards the end so the flavor isn't lost, because the nutmeg and cinnamon is a very potent taste and it's got a nice smell. I'm adding 4 tablespoons of water. If you think the filling isn't soft enough, then you can add a little bit of water at a time and then cook it. Just because we don't want the filling to have a lot of water, we want it a little bit dry, so we can put it inside the dough. As you can see, the filling is all done. I took out all the cardamom and the cinnamon stick and the bay leaves. Now we're going to make this egg wash. This we're going to use towards the end of the baking process before we pop it in the oven. So for this, I'm using 1 egg, small egg, and just a tablespoon of milk. And then we're just going to beat that up. And we're going to leave this aside for later. As you can see, my dough is all done. You can add a little bit of water if you think the dough is hard, and just keep mixing it or kneading it. So I'm going to divide this into 3 halves, but if you guys want to make smaller ones, you can divide this into 6 pieces. So I'm just going to make a small ball and mix that around. I'm just going to roll it out. It doesn't have to be super thin. We don't want to make it too thin because then it can kind of break apart. Also, it doesn't really have to be a perfect circle. It can be just like a semicircle, or, like how I'm doing it. It's not a perfect circle. If you're a perfectionist, then you can just get a bowl and go over it. Now I have my dough all rolled out, and I'm going to add the filling in. So just use your judgment and add as much as you think you need. And then we will fold this in half. Fold it over just like that. So now it looks like a crescent circle, like a semicircle. Looks like a crescent moon, which is perfect for like a Eid decoration if you want to make this for Eid and just for a decorative dessert. You can do this. And now we are just going to pinch in the edges, and as you can see, I'm cutting down the excess pieces. So I'm just going to pinch in the edges, and that's it. Now we're just going to put it on a baking tray. So I have all my 3 pies done. So I have them on a parchment paper. If you don't have a parchment paper, you can spray some cooking oil, or rather some cooking oil on the tray. Make sure you add some ventilation, so I don't, I'm just going to use a fork and just kind of open it up a little bit so that it can breathe in the oven. And now we will use our egg wash that we made earlier. This is usually done so we have a nice crispy and brown top. After that, we will just pop it in the oven in 330 Fahrenheit for about 30 to 40 minutes. So you will know because the whole house is going to smell great. It's got a perfect, yummy, delicious smell. Also, if you see a brown coating on top, that's when you know that it's completely done, just like that. So there will be a little glazy brown top. So I'm just going to cut one open and show you how it looks inside. The filling will be, of course, brownish in color. It's got a very sweet smell. And that's it, guys. I hope you like it. The kids will definitely love this dessert. Give it a try. Enjoy. Thank you for watching.